We at Renwood Farms and Dave Hula, I have a slide here in a little bit that was when Philip put in a trial at the farm, and you can kind of see it in the background. And I've known Philip for 25 years. And when he says it's been a good ride, you know, we've had our ups and downs, we've had our successes and our failures. So we're going to talk about those, and we're going to try to figure out how, you know, some of the things that he's introduced to Renwood Farms has been beneficial. And it's like, how many times Philip had the one slide, he talked about hope. Is hope a good strategy? Because, well, a farmer, after you've done something in this environment, because we'll talk about stresses here in a little bit, but in this environment, in this economy, you're trying to figure out what you're gonna put in that spray inductor, what you're gonna put in the planter. What are the things you're gonna cut out? Things you don't do if they actually work. It's constant. How many of us put out the companies give you some products? Yep. How many times you try it, and then do you leave a strip where you don't try it? You have a control? Yep. A lot of farmers don't do that, so I'm glad to get I'm amongst the group, because a farmer will not give up something he knows pays. So when things are tight, and you're going to have to give something up, you know, give up something that pays. And there are certain things that I've worked with Dennis with, like Invigor8, Carbose, VitaNterra. They're just their flagship products on their operation. And then now we're getting into some other products like Instigo, now VitaNterra. You know, that was one that Philip talked to me about. And sometimes I'm a real slow learner myself. I get excited about something, and then all of a sudden we kind of let something slip by, and it's like, oh man, why hadn't I been part of that for a lot longer time? So Renwood Farms doesn't know everything about corn, patio and corn or just corn and job. We surround ourselves with a great team. You know, and the cool thing about, you know, Phil talked about this can get you in trouble too. Do y'all all agree? You can all pick it up, whether answer the phone or not, or then you can search, say, all right, I need something to use this product, and all of a sudden you're chasing somebody that is on social media and says, hey, try this. Have you ever filtered out sometimes these social media guys, everything works? That. Everything doesn't always work, but it might work for you, and it might not work for you. So you got to try it on your own farm. So, all right, I'm not having the same problem Philip is. Whoa, I'm going too fast. This is highly sensitive technology, y'all. Just a little history about me. Some of y'all know me, some of you don't. So those that do, bear with me. I had a chance to farm with my late granddad, my late uncle, and my late dad. Now, how oftentimes, you know, does your dad, is he still living? Is he still on the farm? No. So you get to work with another 2 generations. Take advantage of that. There have been times I failed, and, you know, they fuss at me a little bit. There's only 3 people that can fuss at me, and I would take it. Miss Sandy, my wife, my dad, and my agronomist. Outside of that, I'm not going to take getting fussed at very often, but I will be educated if I'm doing something wrong. Here at the farm now, my dad's passed away, you know, so I'm that generation now, and I have my son and my brother farm with us. And just to give you a little idea about where we are, Shory, first of all, if you get this button right there, this red dot, know that? Can you point where we are today? Because I have no clue where I'm today. Do you know where you are today? All right, so we're somewhere around there. Y'all see how steady that time? Way steadier than if I were doing that. It's just your girl. So, you know, I take it around. So that gives you an idea where I'm at right now, from a standpoint. Now, if I'm here and y'all are over here, and we got some further away, things that I share, you know, you'll say, well, he's in Virginia, different soils. I don't know. Some of y'all got way better CEC soils. What'd y'all CEC soil? Know what CEC soil is? 15 to 30. 15 to 30? You in that same boat? Just quiet, man. You got your arms across them and just take them all and out here. So 15 to 30, y'all in the same boat? 20, 35. I mean, this is the Garden of Eden, right? So we're 2-1 to 6, 7. We got some soil sample reports back, and we got some now that are like 7, 2. Did I change it? No. Has anybody ever pulled a soil sample once a month? Do you see any changes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do things change that make no sense?
Exactly.
Like CEC, it's like, how could that change? The dirt hadn't changed. If y'all hadn't done that, that would be a great if I could challenge, there's certain things I'm going to challenge y'all to do when you go home for 2025. One of them is just pick a spot and soil sample it once a month just to see what's going on. And then maybe, heaven forbid, pull a tissue sample. But we're going to zoom in a little bit more. This is, y'all know where the Atlantic Ocean, y'all know where this body of water is. Come on, y'all. This is the James River, the York River, Rappahannock River, the Potomac River. What's right here?
But all our friends.
I said these things. Y'all know what flowed downhill.
That's the
Here we are. If you were to look further in, this should give you an idea. This is Charles City County, this is James City County, Jamestown Island. What happened on Jamestown Island? 1607, Captain John Smith, 3 ships landed on the island. That would be my luck. Come all the way from England or the Europe nations, go down, come up, and land on the island. Well, they did it on purpose because they didn't know what they were going to fight. They didn't know if there were going to be enemies there or whatnot. So they lived on the island for a while, and then they left. Left the island, started farming, was called mainland farms. It was first cultivated in 1609. It's been farmed every year since. You didn't know you write a history lesson there, did you? And it's the second place we recorded 300 bushel dry land corn. So when people say we're bad stewards to the environment, I mean, Philip was talking about CO2 and how that's helped on their yields. But we have come a long way from digging a hole, putting 2 catfish down, 4 kernels of maize to raise corn. That we were not set part of that settlement at all. As a county owns it, we just been fortunate enough to farm it. So, get close to 28 years now. So it's been a long time. We lost it for 2 years because some politics got involved. One of the board of supervisor members was a farmer. They felt like they wanted to farm it, so they got it. And they tilled the ground. We're in a never-till environment except where we do some strip till. And they tilled it, and then we had to smooth it back out and get it back in shape because they didn't last very long. And you think about challenges. What's your biggest challenge farming? I'm going to pick on you because you got ZCAP out. What's your biggest challenge farming for?
was input price.
Input prices. At mainland farms, my biggest challenge was people. Because they decided to put a bike trail around the farm, and we have our average field size, just to give you some perspective of the struggles we have, is our average field size is 19.6 acres. Wow. Y'all even farm a field that's 19.6 acres?
I have one that's 2.1.
Well, to have 19.6, their largest one is 234 acres, and their smallest one goes down to a half acre. Now, that half acre field we don't pay rent on because it's just a garden, and they get land use tax. But the county decided to put a bike trail around the farm, and their biggest field on that farm was 122 acres. Well, they decided to split it in 2, so it's 70 and 52 acres. Imagine farming and you're having mothers pushing baby carrier strollers, and you're trying to spray an insecticide. You got an airplane coming in. All kinds of funny stories about that. So just to give it back, remember he's going to zoom in a little on Renwood. This picture was taken in 2012, I think. Yeah, 2012. James River, it's 1.25 miles across. One day I came home and my son had a sheep's grin on his face. You ever told mom your boy's got a funny grin on his face? I'm like, Barley, what'd you do? You say, well, Dad, looked up, decided I want to swim across the river. And Barley swims like rock. So I was quite impressed, but they were smart enough. Him and 2 other buddies decided to swim across the river, and they had a jet ski, and they was there in case one of them decided he couldn't make it, but He woke up, he had a goal, he had a challenge, and that's what a couple things we're going to talk about a little bit. So here at the farm, 2011, or 12, I mean. Field day, look at the corns. 2,200 acres of corn we averaged, 49 bushel. Don't think y'all have tough sometimes. I picked one of our bigger fields, a 100-acre field at the Western Farm, and only needed one truck. Picked up 401 bushel off that 100 acres. And somebody said, why, where'd you pick? Well, I have corn and I could go faster and push all those corn stalks down when bush hogging, take a chance of fodder clogging up the radiator and overheating the truck. And then plus the landowners like goose hunt, so we left a lot of other geese. But you can see some of the struggles we have, and that comes because of the soils we have. And the soils that we have, because they're low CECs, that's why we depend on that biology Philip was talking about to help us out. So not only are we using nutrition, but we're also trying to feed the biology. And how do we go about doing that? We'll talk about that, but it's energy, resources, and workspace for it to work in. So that's some of the reasons we're using the Carbose to give it the energy and the workspace, and the VitaNterra to give it the workspace, and then help us on our nutrient efficiencies. Now, in this one picture also, we were involved with agriculture for a while. When you notice some of these spots, you feel it. It's in. You remember when you did those trials on that field?
Right.
Peterson field? That was this particular picture as well. We're always trying to learn. So I'm trying stuff. Not only do we try stuff in a bigger scale, but we do trials, strict trials. Anybody here playing with this reduced stature or short corn? Yeah, it's got to fit. And we figured it out. But there's future for this, y'all. I'm going to just jump around here a little bit. Why is short corn, how could it be advantageous to grow, particularly in Nebraska? Y'all get winds? We got any far Nebraska? I know we do. Y'all get winds? Yeah. So something to help us stand up. But then, how in the world can we take that short corn and then influence it? It gives us a chance to do stuff in the field where we couldn't do. We were hiring an airplane and using our drone. Now we can do some biological products out there to see how it's influencing. One of my goals this year is to, I'm tired of paying my crop duster. Y'all use aerial applicators? How much they charge you an acre?
Joe, it's $14 an acre.
14? Somebody over there is like, oh, we sweated that flush bar. I'm paying $17, $18 an acre. And so we'll talk about that this afternoon, aerial applicator. But if we could start reducing that cost, be more efficient, so we can make these applications. It is huge. Survival. The state effect of continuing to live or exist typically in spite of an accident, ordeal, or difficult circumstances. I was going back and I was trying to, a couple slides I wanted because I knew that I made a presentation. In 2019, I gave a presentation and this $4.60 was $3.87. So there's a different cost associated with that corn at $3.87. Their inputs weren't nearly as high as they are today. So we got to realize this is real, and this is when me as a grower, because I'm just like y'all, I have to write a check. Now there have been some people say, "Well, Dave, everything you get's free." Well, that's not because, and I hate, when you get all these free cheap financing and stuff, that just tells me that things are going up. So $4.65. Y'all know how much it costs you to raise an acre of corn? Have y'all budgeted out? Have y'all done it? Most growers have not. And that catches me off guard. Here we grow a lot of small grain. Just to give you an idea of error and involvement. I came back, is farming a dangerous occupation? It can be.
It is.
In 1985, I was graduating North Carolina State. February, my uncle fell off a grain bed, passed away. So came back to the farm, graduated. I was looking to go somewhere else. I decided, of course, good Lord first, family second. So I came back to the farm, worked on the farm. But both my late dad and late uncle, they worked on the farm but left for a while before they came back. And I think that is, Had my son do that. He went to school, he came back, did some stuff, and then he's now at the farm. I think that's a great exercise just because it makes you appreciate the hard work and you get ready to sacrifice. And y'all know you're sacrificing. So I left and started working for the Chesapeake Bay program, nutrient management specialist. Had a chance to work with a bunch of growers, learned a lot from the growers. And then at some point in time, me and the government workspace, we just didn't agree. We agreed to disagree. I loved the work hours that they had. I loved all the time off, but there was really no future. So I had a chance to come back to the farm, realized it took so many acres I didn't want to be a burden. We were farming 1,200 acres when my uncle fell off a grain bin. That wasn't enough to support my dad, my granddad, me, and then the work staff. We have a seed business. So rented a farm, talked to a landowner, talked to my dad and granddad, said, listen, I can bring almost 1,000 acres to the farm. I don't have any cash. Would y'all let me come back? And I can sacrifice my time to help support the operation, and they did. And then we expanded from there. And my brother came on board as well. I have another brother. He worked for us for a while in the seed operation, then about 10 years, and he wanted to get off the farming operation. Just wasn't for us. So the reason I'm sharing that is, Philip asked if you have a plan. I had a plan. I had a vision. I wanted to get back to the farm. And my vision was, it wasn't about corn. It was, I just wanted to be work outside just like y'all do. But then my passion was small grain. It wasn't corn. Corn for us was a rotational crop because we're in the seed business. We needed to clean up the small grain and the soybean ground if we wanted to plant a different variety the next year, we had to put corn in there. Sandy soil. So we really weren't pushing it. Then we started putting up some irrigations, and then we saw we had opportunities. Anybody here grow small grain? Just a few people. Small grain is nothing but baby corn. If you think about it that way, it's kind of neat because now you can do certain things. The things that we have learned through our corn, we also added to our small grain, and we're seeing our wheat yields going up.
Third, grass, like grass.
Okay, grass.
Keep the grass, stay in the grass.
Mm-hmm. Good, exactly. So this is exciting. It's better than what it get. What's y'all's basis today? Come on now. What's your basis? See, all this participation is usually good. Usually when I ask for participation because I need to drink water, what is y'all's base?
45, 50 again.
Under? I'll pray for you. Are you serious? 45, 50 under. And you got big livestock around me, that's awful. And ethanol plants. Y'all just grow a lot of corn. All right.
Number one producer in the state.
Well,
country.
Yeah. Wow. So that makes it even harder. So we know what your bottom line is. For us, when we started this year, we know what it's going to take to raise corn, but just to give you an example, for small grain for us, if we APH our small grain yields, we're going to make $25.44. We already know what our budget is. Y'all, I'm a budget guy, and from a standpoint, I already have a plan what we're going to do on our corn crop. Now, we're going to deviate from that plan. Weather's going to present things, but I have a plan laid out. We're getting products in-house now, because the last thing I want to do is run short of something, say, hey, I need some product here, and then we're doing something that then I'm like trying to scramble to find something. And of course, your co-op says, oh, we got that very exact same thing. And it's nothing like what you originally planned for. So there is no silver bullet. Be amazed at how many times I go around talking, they say, what is that one thing you put in your spray inductor that gives you all these extra bushels? I'm going to talk about things that we have done that's given us some bushels. We have, and I don't want to jump the gun, but Philip, we have these sealing types. It's like you're trying to get a yield as a thicker sealing tiles because you want to go high. Well, we were stuck at like irrigated corn, 330, 340 bushel. Now, that's a good place to be stuck at. But it's like, I want to get past it. Philip came to the farm. We looked at some tissue samples, and he's like, hey, Dave, why don't you try this? So now we're a next year person because we're trying to figure out what are we going to do next year to try to do better. Well, that next year, we did what you was talking about. And all of a sudden, we just punched right through that seal tile. We picked up 28.7 bushels, if I recall. And that was just because we did a micronutrient application at a particular time. Now, we got another seal tile. We talk about challenges between the years. One of the bigger struggles, because most growers here want to do what? How do we measure success? How do you measure success, Lynn?
Profitability.
Profitability. I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people say bushels. But profitability, cool. We like to farm, we love to farm, but if we're not making money, we're not going to farm for so long. So profitability. And I can't argue with the success that a lot of y'all have had because you bought ground, bought equipment, you've expanded, you put kids through college, your wife's got a nice lifestyle. So y'all have had success, but some folks are not pleased with that and they want more, do more. So we got to be willing to step outside the box, and that's why I've changed the spec. There is no silver bullet. I can tell you things that will pick up bushels. If it's not your problem, you're going to spend a lot of money and you'll see some bushels, but it's not going to ROI. And that's what we're all striving for. Y'all remember who this is? The late Francis Childs. And when I shared that story, the story, then I normally would have waited till this time, but, he said you had to have a positive attitude. Got that sheepish grin on his face. And anybody been to his farm in Manchester? He had invited me more times than not. And I never took the chance or the time to go while he was farming there. Philip introduced me to him, and then going through NCGA. Anybody here go to the Commodity Classic? Got a few. That gives you a chance where you can network with growers, but had a chance to visit with him. Never went to his farm while he was alive. I've yet to see to his farm. The late Stephen Albrecht, guy from Hart, Texas, high yield guy, all kinds of manure, feedlot manure, tremendous success. Never went to his farm while he was alive. I went to his farm to his funeral. And then, there's a lot of other growers. So if you ever get a chance to go somewhere and see, it doesn't have to be somebody that's had that kind of success like Francis, but somebody that's doing a little better than you are. It's not just because it's on the other side of the fence. Take the chance to go take the time and go visit with. Thank you, David.
I did it to you.
You did?
Remember me showing up and
Right, yeah. Look,
thank you, Dave.
hey, he caught me when I was there, first of all.
Yeah?
So, what'd you see?
What?
A lot. Well, you take anything home? I mean, not stealing.
So, where did you send me?
I can't remember, so I'm sorry. All right, Philip.
You sent me the film.
Yep. Boss. Well, it's about relationships. And I'm an open book, so this afternoon there's going to be a lot of time for Q&A. And I respond really well to Q&A as opposed to just saying through talk. Just to get it out, this was at 600 and some bushel corn. This is what it looks like. I like to work backwards. Raising corn is nothing but numbers, but sometimes we have to have a vision of where we want to be. Philip showed the announced, so two hats. Was it the Eagles and the huge Chiefs? So you see how much interest I have in either one of them, right? So you got to have a vision. What is your goal? So when you look at this, what are the things that stand out to you? I want to hear you just saw this picture. What stands out in it to you?
Your eye.
Your height? Is it high, low?
Consistent.
Consistent. Thank you for that. How close is that to harvest? Well, we just harvested right here. So this we just did a NCTA check there. So outside of that, now you said your height, but you see here is here and this here is here. So some would say that's not very good. The lower ears are tiller ears. They're not on the same plane. That's the difference. What else is on that picture that, all right, we're pitching about 24.2% moisture.
It's green.
Green. One of the things that I am huge on, we use a lot of chemistry, but there's one thing that we've had great success with Zag is helping on the plant health. It does two things. We're helping on the plant health, and then I do not have a very good way to, quote, measure biology. I've had people come and got all kinds of folks stop by and they give us what their interpretation of our biology, but I'm a guy who wants to be able, just like soil samples. I mean, y'all pull soil samples for 25 already. I don't see very many hands 25 for this year. This growing season. All right, but maybe this will be a question. Okay, so how many people pull soil samples or have a fertility plan? Not as many hands as should be up. Y'all of all years, if I because I've changed the program, I'm jumping ahead, but of all years, this is a year you need to be pulling soil samples because you need to know where to spend dollars. Now, Philip said that, biology, we're doing a lot with the soil, with the biologies, and, maybe we don't need as much nutrition, but we got to have a starting point. Y'all pull, I don't want to get in front of that. We'll save that because it's about here. What else do you see on this?
Upright ears.
Upright ears, yeah, and core still standing. I mean, this was about 47,500 plant population, but you can only get so many bushels per stalk. And then to get higher, because we strive for 10 bushels per out. Y'all move around. Because I'm south of Mason-Dixie line, I want to be a moving target. So I feel for the guy who wanted their camera. But I wish I'd done a better job taking a picture here. Because one thing, and I would almost want to ask Philip, well, let me go back.
Yes, sir.
I don't like doing this. Look here. You see how dark this plant is? See how dark green it is? Now we're in Iowa, so it's supposed to be dark green. I did some filming for the TV show last August. I did those, and that was in July, and we came to Ames to one of the research farms. We were doing some stuff for soil wear, strip till machine. I landed in Des Moines, rented a car, drove towards Ames, and well, the garden, the corn's supposed to look great, right? And I'm driving by, and I'm like, because people call me, and they call me and say, hey, which crop was like? Because they think I'm going to give them a good idea about marketing. Well, I suck at marketing. But I'm driving by, and I'm like, all this corn, it doesn't look like Iowa corn. And I'm talking to one of the fellows at the experimental station, said, what is up? And it's like, whoever just used, y'all call it gas, I think it was anhydrous, whoever just used anhydrous and did come back and lay by some nitrogen on top, it played out. Ran out. So, to me, that was like, okay, fellas, they're not being good growers. The biggest struggle with farmers is they don't ever see their shadow in the field. So they scout in their pickup. That's one thing you're going to do. If you see me in the summertime, I'm not doing something like a group. I'm in their fields or harvesting or spraying or something. Some point in time. But I bet I don't know what kind of yield this was, but I bet if Philip can recollect when Francis was picking his high yield stuff, and I wish I did a better job tagging this thing. I wish I did a better job. I guess you never go back for sure. Yeah, I wish I did a better job taking you. Because one thing you would not see is waste roots. As we have a better crop, there should only be 5 roots on your plant. Anything above ground, that's just giving it more support, or it's not getting enough nutrients out of those 5 roots below ground, but it's needing help. So whenever we had our highest yields, or get into that different yield environment, we see less and less breakthroughs. I've been to farmers' fields, and they'll have brace roots this high off the ground, and they're just all excited. Look at that. I'm like, good job. That is not what they need to see because the plant. And Philip talked about, I'm a believer, and you're going to think it's crazy. Plants work on harmony, like what Josh was saying. It's a beat. When something happens, it either slows down, or it speeds up. There's a rhythm, plants, and their goal is try to figure. I don't understand it, but I am a believer in it. And when we start adding nutrients, we're starting because they're the way roots pick them up. There's this relationship, and it changes that region. Right. So this is just some of the stuff we get in season. This would call up. This was for one plant. I'm blocking you. Not all plants had 2 years like that. This was from one plant. And they can have a case, just give you an idea. See, no ratios here. This was just prior. This was at like BT. But no ratios. That's what it looks like. Y'all saw a vision of what it should look like. How do we make yield? Where does yield come from on corn? There's 4 weights: population, rows around, length, and weight. Can you influence all those? Yeah. Population's pretty easy. My Pioneer guy loves when I'm planting 60,000. But when we plant 22,000, because we still plant low populations. I want 10 bushels per thousand. That is my goal. Then go back to your farm, look at your yields. If you're in that 8 to 9 bushels per thousand, you can probably bump your population up a little bit. 10 bushels, you clearly can bump your population up. If you're at 5 or 6, and most growers are in that 6 bushel range, if you want to improve yields, you might change hybrids. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to change hybrids, but I'm going to jack population up. We got to feed it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Cool. So population point, that's easy. Boom, just hit the button, prescription. The other one. When is the plant determining rows around? We have studied corn for how long? Over 100 years. When is the girth of the plant determined?
By B6.
By B6. That's I hear one, B6. When is it initiated? The academics say between 5 and 7. They're partially right. I went with Sandy Endicott, a global agronomist pioneer. We were up in Canada. I was talking with her, and I said, that 5 to 7, I agree there, because there's always an even greater number kernels on here, right? Don't. There's never not. Well, between 5 and 7 is when it splits, but I want to know when it's 4. And depending on maturity, she was sharing with me, well, if you get into what maturities y'all grow? CRMs. Y'all in the 110, 12-day range? Anybody grow 90-some-day corn? 80-some-day corn? My son had a goal one time. We wanted to plant some. He said, Dad, do you think we could plant 2 crops of corn the same year? Don't know. Well, no, unless you try it. You ever thought about that? Plant an 86-day hybrid first. Harvested in the first part of July. I got enough heat. Air frost, Hessian fly frost feeding day used to be October 15th. They kind of pushing it back because we're just getting later. Falls are getting warm. So we did a 86-day hybrid, and then we did a 99-day hybrid. It's the first time I ever cut corn before we made black layer. So we should have went with a low 90 or 80 someday. Y'all deal with residue, don't you? Residue a problem? Residue a problem? Yep. Is residue a problem for you, sir? You just quiet here. I think just taking it, all right? Is this guy a bad one fool, or I'm a teacher? Sorry. That's something. Good. Residue. Y'all think residue's a problem? Try to harvest corn and plant corn the same day. That is a problem when the stalk's still green. You got all that. I wish we had a strip till machine then, because we'd have worked up the bulbs and planted that. We picked just under 300 bushel the first time and just a shade over 200 the second time, and it didn't even make black layer. Just something, think it's something different between their gears. Don't think different. So grows around, the number grows around, trying to depend on the retreat, but mostly around that V3 is when it's initiated. If we get in a shorter season hybrid, it's going to be at that V2 rate. That's it. Just when the second true leaf is out. And then we get to the tropical core, it's going to be closer to full. And then so you can influence that. That was what Philip Davis shared with me, and we'll talk about here really soon. Well, kernels go around. Can we make influence on that? Yes, you can. And we'll cover that. And then wait, you can influence that. So, all right. So to kind of go a little over theme where, and this is how my programs change, because I'm like, all right, I don't know. Let's see, Iowa State, y'all did a decent football game team this year, didn't you? No? I don't know. All right. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But we're getting ready this coming weekend, some big football game. So I got to think, I said, well, let's kind of tie it in with, because we're in that football mindset. So the coaches are working, and you got your pregame, you got your practice, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. So I've kind of broke down what does a grower need to be thinking about outside of how to play football? But so preseason, pre-game maintenance, there's 3 areas: soil, seed, and biology. Soil, first and foremost. I asked y'all, how many of y'all pull soil sample? How many of y'all, are y'all doing zones or grids? Just curious. Or you just pull, like we did when we first started, we had a 42-acre field. I just walked zigzag across the field, put it all in the bucket, mix it up, send it to Virginia Tech. How do y'all do it? Y'all do it at all?
So,
Zone? Anybody else do zones? Both zones and grids? 2.5 acre grids?
kept
2.5 acre grids?
1, 2.5.
1 or 2.5. We farm right around 4,000 acres. We just finished doing 1 acre soil samples. Why in the world would you do that? We did zones. The one thing I need to know what I'm working with, the reason we pull soil samples is not as much for phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, sulfur, boron, because I heard y'all talk about those. We kind of want to know where we are so we can portion nutrients, but it's from pH. If you've just done zones and you've done 2.5 acre grids, I would challenge y'all to do one field or half of a field, do 1 acre grids. And it's like looking at X-ray compared to an MRI. First field we did that was our biggest field, 234 acre field. Half the field was dug up for sand and gravel. The other half is virgin dirt. We put a 160 acre pivot on it. It makes 15/16 of a circle. The landowners wouldn't let us take 1 hedgerow out. So doing that 1 acre grid just opened up my eyes. It's like, holy smoke. I thought we were doing a good job. Now, Georgia did a trial, 10 acre grids, 5 acre grids, 2.5 acre grids, not a whole lot of difference. 2.5 to 1, a lot of similarities, but then if you go less than 1, there's no benefit to it. So, but we're focused. I do it for lime, and we're trying to lime out. We just finished liming the on farm. It's wet, so if y'all spread lime, y'all need to spread lime. Treated. Y'all spread it yourself. Y'all ever have a love-hate relationship, especially if it gets wet. So we don't haul any lime in. We get 100 to 200 tons a day when we're like, this was in that field that we had the corn picture. Fine sandy loam, you can see our old plow layer somewhere between 8 and 10 inches. And then you can see how we got a little bit of fine sandy loam, a little bit more fine sandy loam, and then we go into a clay layer down in the mines. Reason I'm showing this is there is stratification. This is real. If you're into long-term no-till, there's a lot of biology, very good nutrients down, earthworms, and they'll move. Y'all ever get equipment stuck? I got a sprayer stuck one day, and I was smart enough before I backed up. Never been stuck before. Kind of a little bit on the hillside, I folded the booms up. Smartest one thing I did. Because I backed up, she just went down. Picked up phone, called Barley, said, Barley, bring some change and bring a truck. So he brought, I don't remember what tractor he brought, and tried to pull it out, just went down. So now, both tires on let's see, it was a R4830, it was a 4830. Both tires were about this much above the ground. So we finally got it out. But one thing that I saw, having get it out, wish we videoed them all, but that kind of like Farm Journal when they say it's just a bad day for you. But one thing that I saw was a night crawl. That thing was it looked like a small serpent. It was as big as your thumb, and it was 3.5 foot down. Have you ever seen an earthworm eat? Grab food and pull it in the hole? I know it's like, what in the world they even do? You imagine the night crawlers grabbing, he's grabbing like a leaf and pulling it down in the hole. That's one way we move nutrients. The cover crops is another way we're studying because the roots have nutrient value. So we're getting nutrients down there as well. So if you haven't done this, but the reason we do this is because potash is a mobile nutrient. We use the spikes like VitaNterra to help it make more available. Sulfur is a mobile nutrient. Nitrogen is a mobile nutrient. Boron is the most mobile nutrient we have, and we can see a buildup down here. So occasionally we'll pull a bean soil sample until we get clay. Now y'all got these higher CNC soils, so this is pertinent for y'all. Just to give you an idea, this was in 2014. I could buy some. This horse said that was the field that we saw the clone pitch. Now this was 2014. Organic matter 2.2, phosphorus 55. Based on this was a waypoint with A&L, a waypoint today. Malic 3, Malic 3, potash 135, pH 6. These last. CEC 5.4. I guess I'm going to show you another picture of how things have changed. What we got? 6.4 base out, from the potash. You see, micronutrients was a sulfur. Zinc 4, manganese, iron, alkaline 4. All right, that was in 2014. We've been farming it every year since. We've had tremendous yields of it, and I went and did all. I searched through our grid sample. I hope I didn't say that on this. Look here, same soil, same spot, 6.5. Phosphorus went from, 55 to 74. It was 135. So we added 100 parts per million. And then, we boron indicators, probably not the same. Iron, we're down on iron, lower. Manganese, we got it almost the age of life. Y'all remember what the zinc was? Was it too? Let's go back. Zinc was 4.7. Look at it. Today, where's zinc's? 14.5. This one here, y'all, dang. If I had to think about one nutrient that, that is helping us in more areas than not, is that. Oops. And what does that do? That's helping feed the biology, where Phillips was talking. And then we'll talk about how it helps later on. So there's a ratio that we strive for. We want to flush this zinc. And, I was looking, I'm sure you got co-ops that call you and say, hey, we got this product you can put in furrow. We got this you can do on seed. We got this you can spray on. And a lot of times they're talking about certain nutrients that they talk about zinc. And Genesis Valley was got the same type. They have a product that for the seed, we'll cover that in just a minute. But also it focuses on trying to get the zinc in their plant. It is huge. But like, this is all, this, I don't remember what year this was, 150 bushel corn. It just takes nutrients to raise a crop. And people say, why don't we use something as old as it? I think it was like 1960 something. It's like the data hadn't changed. It just takes, it tells me it takes pounds. From 150 bushel corn, they're saying 170 pounds of nitrogen, 35 pounds of phosphorus. Look at that. That's almost as much potash to raise that. And then we get into the other nutrients, then we get into micronutrients. Two things that I'm looking at here, two take-home things is most of the time when we're thinking about how we can influence roads around within the lifetimes is what's y'all's average test weight? See, I need some great shot. I ask y'all a question. Is this so? Is a pattern? What's y'all's average test weight? Oh, it is for gestation. We can do like a auction. I can say, does anybody have 58-pound corn? Raise your hand. Anybody have 59-pound corn? Raise your hand. So what is it? 60. 60? Anybody higher than 60? Sometimes. Sometimes? Come on, y'all. 60. Let's point to it. Let's
Clear.
higher. What's the highest you've seen?
61 there.
61 and a half. Anybody seen higher than 61 and a half? Okay, that is great corn. I mean, who cares? As long as it's not 54 and a half, they don't discount you.
Right.
I'm not going to get in a battle as heavy test weight. Well, we'll get in a battle right now. Is test weight matter? No, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
But from a standpoint on the plant, when I had those pictures of the ears of corn on those stalks, if you had an ear that weighed a half a pound, and then you had an ear, same number of kernels, and an ear weighed 7/10 of a pound, which one do you want? It's heavier. It's going to have higher test weight. So it does matter why it's on the plant. Once it's harvested, who cares? As long as it's higher than 54 and a half, so they don't discount you. Then it gets into, well, how many bushels I have in the bin and all that. That's just, you do a good job marketing. Sometimes we put it in the bin and we don't sell it till next year. If I got more bushels in the bin and I didn't sell it till next year, the price went down. I did a piss poor job marketing. So it does matter sometimes. I mean, we've seen, I'll show a picture later, 66. Highest test weight's been 66 up. I have below 70-pound corn. Get 70-pound corn, I'm going to be over 8/10 of a pound beer. Still couldn't. And gold. You got to have a gold somehow. But the take home like this tells you what's in the starter, this tells you what's in the grain. That's all fine. These two right here. But if I'm not influenced by weight, this is the column I'm looking at. What percentage of it is in the grain? So if I'm influence, I'm looking at Molly's big, zinc. I already talked to you about zinc. We did my soil levels are showing it. Then I'm looking at sulfur. And of course, when you do sulfur, you need iodine. And who would have thought, holy shit, we need to focus on phosphate. So whenever people start saying, well, I didn't influence any test weight on corn, outside of plant health, good biology, green, sunlight, got to have a fertility. Okay? So that's the only reason for this picture is just to show you this. If you're going to push yields, you've got to change your corn hybrid, come big ram, you're going to change your hybrids, and then you're going to plant thicker, but we got to feed it. If we don't put more, because I hate when I hear growers say, well, plant a little bigger, put another 20 pounds of iron on it. I've had other people comment, we tried, these things where they put off gases and tillage, then you got to active soil, but all their soil's active because it's always growing. I always got cover crop, got wheat on it, got corn on it, or soy, so it is active. But how can we stimulate all this? So that's the game plan. So we got to feed it. What feeds it? Zinc, I already talked to you about Carbose. Has anybody used Carbose here? What do y'all think? For the guys that, all right, for you guys that use it, and for those that don't use it, explain to the guys, explain to the folks that are using it, just one of y'all, explain to the ones that don't use it why you use it. So you raise your hand first.
Is that it?
Energy. Energy for the plant or for the bugs?
Oh.
Both. How have you seen it turn? For me to say, my agronomist, Paul Bodestein, he always fussed at me. He said, Dave, you talk about making yield, you tell them you get bushels, where are the bushels coming from? So for me, when I hear that energy, have y'all ever dug and compared the roots? So that's what I do. Look at the roots. I have a bigger root mass where we put Carbose out there. And then also it's been one of the components that's helped us pick more rows around and for the yield. All right? So that's how I measure things. And y'all, as you hear today and this afternoon, you don't understand that. And then I'm hoping that y'all are going to, at some point in time, go out in the field and do the same thing. Just to find your reference point where you are today. All right, next thing. I'm doing my fact. Big practice. Equipment and pre-planned applications. 30 minutes.
Here. Good boys.
I already branded myself on John Deere. I don't care what equipment you have. In their total acre group, the first year I was involved with Randy Valley doing it, the growing that had the highest corn yield, he had an old chain drive planter, springs down crusher. He knew what it took to make that planter tick. The late Francis Charles was picking 400 bush corn. He didn't have all the bells and whistles we have today. He oftentimes tell a story. He'd plant corn around 9 o'clock. He'd put a pop on the hopper, and if the pop would bounce off, he knew he was planting too fast. Does that make sense? You can tell your dad, do you plant corn? You know, that's the most important job on the farm in corn plant. That's tough. You get out and check things, your dad check things behind you. Both. Well, that guy that had that old John Deere planter, he understood it. The cool thing about technology today, we can get paths all around like that. This is the air planter. We work with stuff in firm, and we also run a starter beside. This is what our planter looked like before we started planting last spring. We do run gut earths. We run a no-till culture because I don't have any trash sweeps on the planter. Residue is not a problem for us. Keeping it is a problem. It just goes away. So I don't need. There was one farm I wish I had trash sweep because it pushed some rocks out of the way. But we just run a no-till culture. Now this no-till culture, you can't find today like this. It's famous. You don't ever want. I mean, anybody here run no-till culture on your plant? All right. So let me explain.
Why do you run a no-till culture?
Why do I run a no-till culture? Because I don't want these double-disc open blades to wear out too fast. So it's only to break these seal up. So I can get a whole season. Because if we take the no-till culture off, we're going to have to replace blades. When we were running a 12-row planter and plant 2,000 acres of corn, we could only get 1,100 acres done before we had to replace all their blades. Now we're running a 16-row planter. We're doing some strip tilling on about 500 to 600 acres a year, and that's allowing us to pretty much finish before we have to rebuild the plant. The planter today looks like this. I still had some blades on back here just so we can set it down, but we're replacing all the blades. If you buy a new planter, it still needs to get worked on. There are things that you need to pay attention to. Like, when you rebuild your plant, you know the dad, you're in the land of milk and honey. Blades never wear out, right? So in that case, you haven't put on the blades. What do? Just go to your dealer and ask for blades and slap them on? Is that what y'all do? David goes to the dealer, they got crates. And I take a jig and I put the blade on and I spin it. I want to see what kind of wobble I have, because I bet most of y'all, if you put the blades on, Mason, right? You put it on, you tighten them down, you take 2 business cards and check the touch points, you spin it 25%, do it again. That's a pain, isn't it?
Yep.
You go to the dealership and you create a jig with a my southern tongue can't say, that little gauge that reads thousandths of an inch, and you spin it, put it on that outside edge, spin it, and if John Deere, I'm branded and I fuss at them all the time, their spec says it's got to be within 90 thousandths of an inch wobble. Well, if you put 2 90 thousandths of an inch wobble, you got 1.8 thousandths of an inch wobble. So finding those touch points are really hard. For it to go on my planter, it's got to be less than 15 thousandths of an inch wide to go on my corn plant. It takes me 2 crates to find that. And then we've got to make sure that the holes lined up. If you do that, you don't have to do that business card but one time, because you can spend it and you'll be good. On the bean planter, 45 thousandths or less goes on our bean planter. That's the detail we pay attention to because, and we'll cover this a little bit, uniform emergence. Eventually stands on here if I was saying no. Uniform emergence keys. That's our starter. That's our inferred tank. Let's see here. Back applications. Now this one was about field applications. What are y'all gonna do before you plant corn? Y'all gonna make a herbicide spray? A green? You don't put lime out, because I heard somebody say lime. You don't put out fertilizer, right? You know why you're doing it? You understand what you're doing. So when we're doing this application, you mentioned Carbose. We oftentimes like to see their biology. When we're doing a herbicide spray, we'll use some Carbose in there. But first and foremost, I wish I'm going to look at this while I'm talking. First and foremost, we want to make sure our pH of our solution is correct. Have you ever checked the pH of your water? Philip, is pH of their solution important? Very critical. One of the things over years, fungicides is very popular on corn, but for the crop folks that make it, the biggest competition was the untreated acre. They want more acres treated. And I've been to operations where one guy on one side of the street will never use a fungicide on his corn again because he said it doesn't work. And when the guy on the other side says he will not ever grow a corn out without it because it always fakes. That just drives me insane. So then I got to thinking, and then North Carolina State did a trial, but did some research. Now this is interesting for y'all. You better write something down. This should be something I should have added on here. Just didn't think about it. What's y'all's pH of water? Anybody got a clue? What do we need it to be, Philip? For your Carbose?
This is a name. What would you say? Except pretty most higher.
Higher than 8?
Yeah, 9 probably.
So 8 to 9 each year. And you want it to be what for your products?
It really needs to be lower than the pH of the leaf than or whatever you be putting. So I would say below 6.
Yeah, 5 to 5.5, and then when I'm putting stuff in furrow or starter, I wanted 5. So herbicides. pH, I'm gonna give you 3 analogies: pH of 5, pH of 7, and pH of 9. I wish they did 8 in there because that's more real work. Herbicides, half-life. pH of 5 is 16 days. pH of 7 is 17 hours. pH of 9, half-life of your herbicide is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you ever sprayed and got rained out for several days and then you go back and spray and maybe your herbicide isn't working quite as well, we check the pH. Insecticide, probably not as critical, but a pH of 5 is stable. pH of 7 is half-life is 10 days, and a pH of 9 is 24 hours. So again, you get rain out, and it's a couple days before you go back. Maybe you're not killing the insects as well as you would because you didn't finish the spray out. The one that pays the most attention, fungicide, pH of 5, half-life is 10 hours. Y'all ever upload stuff and then don't get it mixed up and all of a sudden you let it sit there to the next day? pH of 7 is 3 hours. pH of 9, your fungicide's only going to half-life is 2 minutes. Y'all, this is real. Now, things that I wish they would do, and I've challenged North Carolina State to do this. I said, I want y'all to do this very same thing, but I want you to put 6 and I want you to put 8 in there. Get rid of the 9, and then I want you to add another category, biology. How long is that biology going to last? Because when you open up that jug, how long is it going to live before we start making that application? This is real. I mean, this is impacting your bottom line. Right. So I want to get to at least the first quarter. Chubby. Right now. First quarter. We're in there today. The planters and the root development. We're getting to the, I guess, what I'm really here for. I'll talk about things that we're doing that's influencing planter. First and foremost, I to motivate. This is your goal. Yes. Have y'all heard about the flag emergence trial testing? Who here does that? All right. So those that did raise their hand, does that mean you don't know it, what it is, or you just hadn't it? No. You ever done it?